Down at Tampa Bay in the final game of the series. In the opening game last night, it was all Blue Jays as they won it by a score of 9-0. Yankees definitely have to get their hitting shoes on against a team like Toronto that could put a lot of runs on the board.
Well, the Blue Jays have taken the field, so we'll take a look at the Yankees starting lineup, which is brought to you by Honda. Great deals are waiting at your Honda dealer. Yankees come in at 79 and 74, and they'll lead off their left fielder, Brett Gardner. The center fielder is Jacoby Ellsbury, bats second. Hitting third and DHing for the second straight game, Gary Sanchez. The shortstop is Didi Gregorius, he'll clean up. Batting fifth today, the right fielder, Aaron Hicks. Brian McCann behind the plate. They like to match him up with CC Sabathia, and Brian will bat in the number 6 spot. Batting seventh and playing third base, Ronald Torreyes. Gerardi said that he doesn't see Headley being 100%. Looks like the back is still bothering him. Tyler Austinby will be in the number 8 spot and play first base, and batting second. Playing second and batting ninth, it's Donovan Solano.
There's a good look at the Rogers Center. Bathe the sunshine this afternoon with the roof open. And on the mound, young right-hander, 25-year-old Marcus Stroman, New York native from Long Island, on the mound for the Blue Jays today. He's 5-2 in his career against the New York Yankees. As we take a look at his overall numbers on the season, this will be his 31st start. His record is leveled off at 9-9. Let's check out the pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. Well, his record is leveled off at 9-9 because his last win was on August the 14th. There's been somewhat of September slide, not totally his fault. He's lost all 4 starts he's made this month, but the Blue Jays have been shut out 2 of his last 4 starts, and they have not scored more than 3 runs in any one of those games that he has pitched, and that's the lack of run support.
Now let's take a look at the defense behind Stroman. Blue Jays defense brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. In the outfield, you've got Upton in left, Pilar in center, Bautista over and right. Bautista has a very good arm. Infield, Donaldson, Tulowitzki, Travis, and Encarnacion. That's third to first. Navarro behind the plate, and Stroman is on the mound. So almost ready for baseball here in Toronto. Yankees have lost the first 4 games of the road trip against the Red Sox, then took 2 of 3 against the Rays, losing the final game, and now they've lost the first game of this 4-game set against Toronto. So it has not been a good road trip up to this point, with 6 losses in the first 8 games. So Gardner digs in. He's ready. Stroman is ready. And let's do it here in Toronto. First pitch is a strike, and we're underway.
Stroman is a sinker, slider type pitcher. He also has a changeup. Not your typical pitcher, only about 5'8", 5'9", but he's got an electric arm.
Now we mentioned the Yankees got shut out 2-0 in the final game in St. Pete. They lost last night 9-0. Yankees have not been shut out in 3 straight games since 1975. Up the middle and grabbed there by Tulowitzki. 1 away.
Tulowitzki making a nice play. This ball is hit fairly hard by Gardner. Right past Stroman. Throwing on the run. Making an acrobatic move to make the play is Troy Tulowitzki. Two-way shortstop. Good fielder, good hitter.
John Gibbons really went out of his way to compliment Tulowitzki at short. He said he really does a nice job, still has range, makes the play in the hole as well as anybody. The backhand, he said he has really solidified our defense since coming over from the Rockies. Here's Ellsbury, and there's the strike from Stroman.
Yeah, I bet he likes the fact that he's a 20 home run shortstop too.
Doesn't hurt.
Does it? Now, during the course of this year, Stroman has made some adjustments. You might notice the abbreviated delivery. Just holds, turns, and fires. He used to come way back over his head and deliver.
Right back to Stroman.
And the feeling is from him, from his standpoint, is it gives him better control with the more economic motion or delivery. And it helps him with that sinker. And when he's on, He's not really, I wouldn't say he's a strikeout pitcher, but he's a ground ball pitcher. And that certainly can help here at Rogers Center, which is a hitter-friendly ballpark.
Here's Gary Sanchez. Sanchez 2 hits in last night's game. I asked Gibbons today, Kenny, I said, is there a hole in Gary Sanchez? He said, I've got to tell you, we have not found a hole in a swing yet. He said, and we've looked. He said, there is nothing that he can't cover. And he really believes that Sanchez is the real deal.
I think one thing that I've seen from Sanchez is his ability to make adjustments at the plate. Now, you might get him once on a certain pitch, but he'll look for it, and he'll get you the next time. Right now, he finds himself in a no-ball, 2-strike hole from Stroman.
The 0-2 just missed. Stroman wanted that one. Didn't get it from Bellino.
Take a look. Maybe a little high, maybe a little outside as well. Yeah, it was definitely.
One-two. Strike 3. Got the call on that one, and Sanchez didn't like that call. 10-pitch inning for Stroman. Yankees nothing, and the Blue Jays coming to bat. This Blue Jays starting lineup brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. Devin Travis at second base will lead off, batting second, and playing third, Josh Donaldson. Edwin Encarnacion, the first baseman, will hit third. Cleaning up, the right fielder, Jose Bautista. Russell Martin gets started DH today. He'll bat fifth, batting sixth, playing shortstop, Troy Tulowitzki. Melvin Upton pinch hit last night, but starting today in left field, he'll bat seventh. Batting eighth and catching, Deanna Navarro, and Kevin Pillar is in center field, and he's going to bat ninth.
Veteran left-hander CC Sabathia gets the call for the Yankees in the second game of this 4-game series. His record, 8-12 with a 4.19 ERA, 142 strikeouts, and 165 in the third inning. His opponent's hitting .256. Let's check out our pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. Sweet 16. CC in his career against the Blue Jays is 15-9. 15 wins, 9 losses. Certainly like to get that Sweet 16 today. He's got the ill-fitting hat trick, though, this year. He's lost 3 times to the Toronto Blue Jays this year. Had to get some hockey-related in there. In his last win, August 23rd, but the Yankees have been shut out 3 of his last 5 starts.
Pitch outside to Travis. I asked Joe, are you surprised that CC has been as good as he's been this year? Now, you can't look at the record. He's 4.19, and as Kenny said, they haven't gotten him an awful lot of runs. But he's given them a serviceable outing most times out. Fouled back, and he said, you know what? I'm not surprised. He said, because of the way he pitched last September. We all know the story when he got the brace on the knee, and he just felt that he would be that effective again this year. And CeCe's taking the ball, and you can pencil him in next year to be in the rotation. One.
You notice a change of speed, so here they have Travis out in front. The changeup usually sinks down and away from the right-handed hitters. The cutter comes in on the hands, so he has that scissor effect. And all of it is about soft contact. He's not looking to blow people away like he used to in the past. He's all about weak contact.
You know, CC has a year left on his contract with the Yankees, but he is not looking at next year as the finish line. He wants to pitch beyond that. And now that he's come to grips on how to pitch with the diminished velocity, he could hang around a while. Now, is he going to make top dollars like one of the top starters in baseball? Probably not, but I don't think that that's going to be a concern for him. If he wants to stick around and be a fourth or fifth starter on a team's rotation, he could certainly do that. I mean, Bartolo Colon's 43 years old, and he's been one of the most reliable starters for the Mets. Meredith has more on CC's situation.
Well, Michael, you mentioned the fact that he had to adjust to life with diminished velocity. Also, he said it was a little bit of a mental thing for him knowing that his knee is now healthy. The fact that he doesn't have to worry about every time he lands, is that knee going to buckle? Is it going to feel okay? The fact that he's been able to get through the season and not have any issues with it has been a big deal for him. And he feels confident in every pitch that he throws that he's not going to have to worry about pain. And that was a big hurdle for him to cross.
So a 3-2 count on Devin Travis, and Josh Donaldson is on deck. Swing and a miss. Travis strikes out against Sabathia. Let's take a look at the Yankees defense, which is brought to you by Nissan. Shop ChooseNissan.com. In the outfield, it's Gardner, Ellsbury, and Hicks. That's left to right. We'll go first to third in the infield. Austin's back at first. Solano at second. Gregorius, the shortstop, and Ronald Torreyes is over third. Brian McCann behind the plate. And Karsten Charles Sabathia is on the mound. Here's Donaldson. Foul that.
One neat thing that we've seen from Sabathia over the years, and when he picks up a strikeout, it's not the third out of an inning. He'll walk almost all the way to the third baseman as the infielders throw the ball around, and the infielder just flips him the ball back, and he casually walks back to the mound.
And he has to catch the ball barehanded.
Exactly. Maybe that's why he walks so close to the third baseman.
The 0-1. Strike 0-2. The roof is open here at Rogers Center, and it's got an amphitheater kind of effect where the shell is over the outfield.
I'm almost expecting to hear a symphony break out.
Very nice.
Yeah.
There's a base hit through the left side of the infield. And that brings up Encarnacion, and it's time for today's Power Report, furnished by Bob's. Everything's better with a Bob Opedic. Find out why at mybobs.com. Major League home run leaders. Mark Trumbo had the game winner for the Orioles in extra innings last night to beat the Diamondbacks. He has 44. Tied for second, Encarnacion, and the Twins second baseman, Brian Dozier. And for third, it's Arenado and the A's Davis with 40.
Brian Dozier set an American League record for home runs by a second baseman.
There's a strike to Encarnacion. Broke the record previously held by Alfonso Soriano.
Oh, what a view.
You see that view from above, and when this place first opened, none of those buildings were there. I mean, I have never seen real estate development there has been here in Toronto, high-rise apartment buildings all around this ballpark that did not exist 15 years ago.
And they're still building.
And they're still building. Let's see if the Yankees can turn two. There's one. And there's two. So a 6-4-3 double play off the bat of Encarnacion. We played one here in Toronto. 0-0 on Pix 11. Pregame. They are brought to you by your local Hyundai dealer.
Well, for the Yankees, one of the keys would be get on board early. I mean, just take the crowd out of the game. As Michael said, we should have a sellout crowd here again, upwards of 40 to 50,000 people, and a finishing kick for the Yankees. I mean, they haven't been scoring the last two. Things have looked kind of dull the last couple of games. Just get into it one game and just have that, move over to the next game and then the following game or whatever, and see if you can finish with a good finishing kick.
Well, it's now been 19 innings in a row for the Yankees without scoring a run. So Didi will start off the second and takes a ball. He's had a good road trip. He's 11 for 30 on the road trip. Fly ball left field, up and back, toward the line, toward the corner. He'll make the play. One down.
Very good defensive outfield for these Blue Jays. Melvin Upton, primarily a center fielder in his days, and Kevin Pillar, most defensive runs saved by any center fielder, and a Gold Glove candidate if he can wrest it away from Kevin Kiermaier of Tampa Bay. And Jose Bautista, maybe not the range that he used to have, but sure-handed and a strong arm and right.
And a strike to Aaron Hicks. Hicks moved up to number 5 in the order as Joe's trying to juggle things and get some runs. And he explained today, he said they've got lefties they could bring in out there. He said, so you really can't stack your lefties. I'm trying to separate them.
So he fits the switch hitter in between Gregorius and McCann.
1-2. Hicks 5 for 12 since coming off the DL.
Think about it, when he injured that hamstring, he'd probably been swinging the bat the best he had been all season long. Anytime you have the sunshine during day games, eventually you're going to have to deal with the shadow problems. These are the hitters, and we see the shadow creeping across the field here at the Rogers Center.
Ground ball in the hole and past the diving Donaldson and into left field. And there's the Yankees' first base hit, first base run. So a single for Hicks.
What'd you say? He was 5-6 for 13 now since coming off the DL. So maybe he's picked up where he's left off. That's all the development Michael was talking about. And Toronto sits on the north shore of Lake Ontario, and as you fly into Toronto, coming across the lake, this is what you see: the CN Tower, and right at the base of the CN Tower, the Rogers Center. Usually the roof is closed, and very beautiful city, cosmopolitan city.
Well, you look at that shot and you realize that last year, Brian Cashman, the Yankee GM, actually hung off the top of the CN Tower. He rappels down buildings. He hangs off the top of the CN Tower.
I wouldn't go up there for lunch.
Grounded to first. There's one. And there's two. An inning ending double play. And you score at 3-5-3. That's where Brian was. We'll be back.
3-0 is no longer considered a close game?
No, Wally, but I mean, I've been throwing at him multiple innings. I mean, Parker's been throwing pretty good for us. He didn't tonight. You know, I could have went to Adam, then maybe I don't have him tomorrow, and then, you know, I mean, we have some issues in a sense. We don't have a starter Monday. I'm just trying to piece it all together.
Are you?
I'm done. I'm done.
Odd scene last night following the game where a manager just gets up and walks out of his own office to end a press conference. Meredith Marakovich, you were there. What was the scene like, and what's the aftermath today?
Well, it's clear there was frustration. Obviously, the Yankees hadn't been playing well. They were shut out in back-to-back games, and it was obvious that Joe Girardi didn't really want a part of that press conference from the get-go. But it really started with asking him about the bullpen and the bullpen usage. And from there, you heard the question that Wally Matthews from ESPN New York asked Joe Girardi that really set him off. He walked out, and that office is very small, Michael. It couldn't have been more than 2.5, 3 minutes into the press conference. And he actually had to part the seas of media to get through to get to the door to the office. So today, the media, again, a little bit relentless with Joe asking the questions. What caused you to get so upset last night? What was it about the line of questioning that you didn't like? And he simply said, I don't want to get into it today. I don't feel as though it's the time or the place. And then he felt as though people were questioning him as to whether or not he has given up on this season, saying, I am not a quitter. I do not quit. We will not quit.
Line drive left field, and that is going to bounce up against the wall. Bautista will head to second, and the throw is wide. And in there with a double is Bautista. Well, what I found interesting, Meredith, taking part in today's press conference on the bench, Joe did not back off. Joe did not apologize. Joe seemed like he was livid, and at times seemed like he was getting emotional that anybody would question. And nobody questioned yesterday whether or not he quit, but I think in a story that Wally wrote today, he said the question is, did Joe quit on the team, or did the team quit on Joe? Obviously, somebody showed Joe that, and I think that's what resonated with him today.
I think it did, and you heard his explanation as far as why he didn't use Adam Warren. He said he wouldn't use Tyler Clippard or Dellin Betances in those situations unless they were up. And what kind of started it last night was the fact that he had said in a response to me that they were down 3-0, and because they hadn't been scoring games, that's why he didn't really go to Warren in that particular situation. And Wally asking, well, 3-0 is no longer close. That kind of set Joe off a little bit, but I think there's just a ton of frustration with the team in general. Obviously, there is still an outside chance that they can get that wild card, but they basically need to win every game and get some help. And you heard Brett Gardner last night after the game talking about that. Look, we've put ourselves in a bad situation. It doesn't look good for us, but we're going to continue to fight on. And I think whenever you don't score as an offense, it really amplifies things and makes things look even worse than they are.
2-0 count on Martin. That was a shot previously of Wally Matthews in the press box here. You know, we questioned it when it happened. I don't think anybody questions bringing Blake Parker in. But I think the thing that really was amplified is you kept him in there when the game became out of reach. Why didn't you bring somebody else in? And it was asked by Mark Feinsand of the Daily News today to Joe, you've been saying that you manage every day and you worry about tomorrow. And yesterday he seemed like he was worried about tomorrow yesterday and kept Blake Parker in there until the game became 7-0.
And that seemed to be the discrepancy with the way he had been managing the last month and a half, knowing that all these games have been incredibly important. Going to Betances really early in certain situations on days that he was going to try to stay away from him, like in Boston, going back to Betances because he feels like those games were so important and needed him. And he really just stood by the fact that, and I think part of it is, are they holding Warren out to maybe start Monday? They're not exactly sure what they're doing with the starter Monday, but Michael, I'm with you. It makes sense that in that situation, you try to keep it as close as possible. And I go back to Gardner. He said 3-0, that's striking distance. Anything can happen. You get a guy or two on, and then you get a big hit. It's happened in the past. 7-0, that's a steep hill to climb for an offense that obviously has not done anything over the last 2 years.
See, Russell Martin worked a walk. Now, just to put a bow on this, I think that the frustration, if I could play psychologist here with Joe, at 2-0, he thinks he has a chance. He couldn't say it yesterday. We're not coming back from 3-0. I'm not saying he gave up on the game, but the likelihood of them coming back from 3-0 with the injured players and the way they've been hitting, he can't say that because then he throws his team under the bus. And I think rather than get into a situation where he might say that, he just got out of the room. Tulowitzki shows bunt. The ball gets away from McCann. runners stay put.
I think one thing we're seeing in all of this has been a long season in more ways than one for the Yankees. They have changed the team. The team is different than it was at the beginning of the year. And I think from the manager's standpoint, he can see things slip sliding away. I mean, they've been eliminated from winning the division. That's happened already. They're almost eliminated from winning the wild card.
Yep.
Managers get paid to win games. The Yankees are not winning games, at least not enough of them. And I think this is part of the problem.
Just over the screen and out of the reach of McCann. Yeah, I think there's frustration there for sure, Kenny.
Yeah.
And you can see it on Joe's face. I mean, Joe really takes every single loss. And, you know, from the beginning of spring training to now, how much thinner he looks, how pale he is. And he just looks like every loss takes a little something out of him. 1-1 count on Tulowitzki. First and second, nobody out here in the bottom of the second. We will hear more from Meredith a little bit later on in the game. Count 2-1 now on Tulowitzki. Two-one pitch. 3-1. This lineup you have to be very careful with. CC knows he can't make a mistake over the plate. As Joe said before the game, the one thing that you want to stay away from with this team is the long ball. He said because that's how they'll hurt you. And CC knows that with his stuff, he can't come make a mistake over the plate, so he's making mistakes off the plate, and he's falling behind the count. Not a good recipe.
Yeah, I mentioned he's lost 3 times to the Blue Jays this year, but only in one of those games did he pitch poorly, and that was the last one here in Toronto on August 17th. I should say at Yankee Stadium. He gave up 9 hits and 7 runs in 6 innings.
Grounded to third. There's one. On to first. It's a double play. 5-4-3 as Bautista moves to third.
Second double play in 2 innings, and if you're on the left side of the infield when CC Sabathia is pitching, you can expect to be busy. Torreyes to Solano, on to Austin at first, and around a horn double play. Just what the doctor ordered, or almost completely. He still has one more out to get in this inning, but that broke up a potential big rally for the Toronto Blue Jays here in a second.
Here's Melvin Upton Jr. Upton is a dangerous hitter against lefties. He has a .912 OPS against left-handed pitching.
And that's one reason why the Blue Jays picked him up from San Diego, solidify their bench. He's a good defensive player, runs the base as well. As if they needed one more hitter, right?
It's strange though, Kenny, before they won 9-0 yesterday, their offense had really stalled.
Yeah, that's one reason why they were, well, now they're 8-12 in September. It was about this time last year they were really rolling. Blue Jays that were 50-50 at one time, then won 43 of their last 62 games. This year that has not been the case. Last year they won the division. It'll be very difficult for them to do that this year. Red Sox have opened up, what, a 5.5 game lead?
Turned him loose on 3-0, grounded and foul.
Talking about Melvin Upton's younger brother Justin, who seems to have put the Detroit Tigers on his back here in September. Seems like every day you get an update from a Tigers game, and Justin Upton's gone deep.
So Upton walks. Top of the ninth inning, Tigers are leading today 4-2 over Kansas City. And as Kenny said, they just keep winning.
Yeah.
And that's one of the teams the Yankees have to pass, and they don't play them. Here's Navarro. And it's right.
Navarro gets a turn behind the plate today. Russell Martin being the DH.
Oh, 0-2.
Navarro just got rid of his sunglasses. Yep, it is him.
Kenny, I think that the shadows here are more forgiving than at Yankee Stadium because they come from the left field grandstand to the right rather than from behind home plate toward the outfield.
Exactly.
So you're really not getting that delineation between the pitcher and the batter.
Yeah, once the batter's covered, so is the pitcher.
Right. Boy, Bautista really creeping down the line. And CeCe's not looking at it. And you can see Bautista now is talking to the third base coach. He's probably saying, I can steal home.
Yeah, there's 2 strikes, though. You can
Remember when Ellsbury did that this year?
Yeah, he did. Surprised Brett Gardner.
I think he did it on a 3-2 pitch. That one is looped into center field, and Solano makes the play for the final out of the inning. No runs a hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. Let's go to the third. 0-0. Is brought to you by your local Tri-State Kia dealers. 2 more games on the road tomorrow afternoon in Toronto, and then it's a wraparound series Monday night as well. Then the Yankees head home. 3 against Boston at the stadium and 3 against the Orioles at the stadium. And boy, are those games going to be important for the Orioles. Yankees are hoping they're important for the Yankees. Well, CC has certainly worked to put those 2 zeros on the board.
He has. He's not been happy with the calls of home plate umpire Dan Bellino. Doesn't feel he's getting the close ones. In fact, McCann was speaking to Bellino after the inning was over, and CC was kind of staring at the umpire as he was walking off the mound. So that's something you might want to watch for as we move along in this game.
Torreyes takes a strike. Oh, 2.
Stroman on the mound, 1-1 against the Yankees this year. He won way back on April the 14th here at Rogers Center, and he lost to the Yankees this month, September 7th at Yankee Stadium. Sharp breaking ball there. He's a Dookie, Duke University. Last year he would have been the Blue Jays opening day starter, but towards the end of spring training tore his ACL, but eventually made it back to the big leagues in September and pitched.
Popped up behind the plate. Navarro makes the play. 1 away. Well, Kenny, he actually used that injury to his advantage because he went back to Duke and completed his degree during that time.
While he was rehabbing.
Yep. It's Tyler Austin. Austin pinch hit in the 9th inning last night. He had not played in the previous 4 games, and in that pinch hitting appearance he grounded to short.
Yeah, I think we've been so enamored with what Gary Sanchez has done and the way he's jumped at the big league level, jumped into the big leagues. What you're seeing from Tyler Austin and Aaron Judge is more likely as to what you see from a lot of young players. They struggle somewhat. They show signs of what they've been able to do in the minor leagues and do so well and get the chance to play in the big league level. When you get to the big leagues, it's a whole set of problems, new set of problems. You're facing the best pitchers in the world and pitchers who can exploit your weaknesses.
That was a 94-mile-an-hour fastball, and today's high-speed pitch comes from your local Infinity retailer.
So it's up to the young players to make the adjustment at this level.
Grounded left side. Donaldson ranges to the glove side and gets Austin.
I think another thing that they find is the defenses are better in the big leagues. The best defenders. You hit balls on the nose you think are going to fall in there or get in for hits. The outfielders have a tendency to run them down unless you really scorch them. And the infielders have unbelievable range and strong throwing arms. The best there is, or the best they are.
And that's what makes what Sanchez has done so extraordinary, because, you know, we talked about Gibbons earlier, and they can't find a hole on Gary Sanchez, but pitches and organizations have certainly found holes on Tyler Austin and before that Aaron Judge, and they exploited those holes. Now it's up to those guys to close them, but at this point they haven't found a hole on Sanchez.
Well, plus where Sanchez has been hitting the ball 19 times, nobody's there to catch it anyway.
Seven of 9 first pitch strikes for Stroman. Solano swings and misses. It's 0-2.
Another thing at the big league level, once they get a book on you and they set their defenses, not only that's where you are going to hit the ball more often than not. Look out. You know, the shifts and all that sort of thing. Not quite so much in the minor leagues. Playing Solano hit the ball the other way in the outfield.
2-2. Fly ball right field coming on Bautista, and he'll make the play as the Yankees go down in order 1-2-3. We're going to the bottom of the third inning. It's 0-0 here on Pix 11. Anniversary of Roger Maris's American League record-setting season on Saturday, October 1st. Get one of the hottest collectibles of the season. It's Roger Maris Bobblehead Day, the final one in the 2016 collectible series presented by AT&T for the first 18,000 guests in attendance. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. First pitch strike to Kevin Pillar, who showed bunt. Count 0-1.
I think one reason why CC was so upset, and we talked about it before, he knows he can't pitch to the middle of the plate, and when he doesn't get the close ones, that means he has to come even more within the strike zone. Sharp breaking ball there, first strike. And that's when the ball has a tendency to be hit harder. Got two big double plays in this game already. There's a cutter in on the hands of Pillar. He just fought it off.
Fly ball right field. Hicks is there. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, leading the way with tires that deliver superior performance in clutch situations. Goodyear, more driven.
Traffic doesn't look bad on the Gardner Expressway.
Give it time.
Well, there's a hockey game tonight, right?
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
Well, this comes from the Keeping Hope Alive file, Kenny.
Gotcha.
Kansas City Royals scored 5 runs in the top of the 9th inning. Ground ball is short. 2 away, so the Royals now lead the Tigers 7-4 going to the bottom of the 9th inning in Detroit.
Last year's world champion saying, well, we can still affect the race, huh?
After going to the World Series 2 years in a row, the Royals are going home early. Here's Josh Donaldson, who singled in the first inning. We're in the bottom of the third. It's 0-0. 1-0. High fly ball, left field. Gardner makes the play, and Sabathia bounces back with a 1-2-3 inning, and we're going to the fourth. 0-0. Baseball brought to you by Raymore and Flanagan. Furniture, furnishing your style. New York Yankees baseball is brought to you by Fios. Fios is not cable. We're wired differently. Visit getfios.com. And by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. And by your Tri-Honda dealer. Hurry into your local Tri-Honda dealer for great deals on 2016 models. We are in that ballpark right now. We go to the top of the fourth inning, 0-0. Brett Gardner will lead it off. Stroman has faced a minimum 9 batters over 3 innings. The Yankees did get a single by Hicks, but he was erased on a 3-5-3 double play off the bat of Brian McCann.
Manager John Gibbons of the Blue Jays has no kick with the way his pitching has been lately. His starters have been excellent. It worked well. The hitting hadn't been there until last night when the Blue Jays pounded out 13 hits and scoring the 9 runs.
I'll tell you what, Kenny, John Gibbons is a different bird. Because his team was taking batting practice, and he was standing behind the batting cage talking to us for about 25 minutes. And I said, don't you have to do something? And he said, I got coaches, they got jobs, I let people do their jobs. And he's in the middle of a nail-biting wild card race and acts like he doesn't have a care in the world. Very, very chill.
You know what I found chill about it? Because the Blue Jays had finished hitting and the Yankees had come on and he's still talking.
Still talking.
Yeah.
Now, Gibbons had an interesting clause in his contract where every January 1st, another year would be added onto his contract. It was like a rollover contract. And he went to the new president of baseball operations, Mark Shapiro, and said, you know what, let's take that out. And Shapiro said, why? He said, well, let's see how it goes. He said, this way you guys could get out of it if you don't like it. I could get out of it if I'm not enjoying it. And Gibbons had told me, he said, you know what it is? I said, well, I'm betting on me. He said, if you keep getting your contract renewed every January 1st, you just always the most have a 2-year contract. You don't get big raises. He said, I'm going to bet on myself. I mean, not many people would do that. The security of always having that extra year, but he said, let's cut that out. Shapiro said, okay, if that's what you want.
Well, they got to the championship series last year.
Yep.
Lost a tough one to Kansas City.
Gardner works a leadoff walk here against Stroman.
This is the first time the door's been open for the Yankees getting the leadoff man on here. Let's see what they can do with it.
Here's Ellsbury. Oh, hammered foul.
I find that this year Ellsbury has been more streaky. He's had his hot streaks, but right now, what is he, 4 for his last 28? So he's cooled off a bit. Over the years past, he's been a little bit more consistent.
Swung and missed. The ball gets away from Navarro, and that allows Gardner to scamper to second. Yankees had their first runner in scoring position.
I don't know. Navarro's going to have to talk to Stroman, which leads me to believe this might have been a cross-up on what the pitch was going to be. Target's low and away. Looked like a little cutter or something down and in. And right away he goes out to talk to him. And that's going to be scored a pass ball.
Yep.
Usually you don't see cross-ups without a runner on second base. That's when things get mixed up from time to time.
Just got a piece to stay alive. Yankees have gone 21 straight innings without scoring a run. So here's an opportunity. Runner at second base, nobody out in the fourth. Driven deep to right field. Is it fair? It is a foul ball.
Ellsbury got a little ways out of the batter's box, but then he slowed down. I think he could see the ball was hooking. Now, he's been quick on anything inside so far from Stroman. Yep. Maybe 5-10 yards out of the box, and ball hooks foul. So near and yet so far. Got to rise out of the bench.
1-2. Missed outside, 2-2.
And you notice Stroman went away. Did not come back in there.
Swing and a miss. Ellsbury down on strikes. 4 for his last 29.
Here Ellsbury was looking for anything in, and they gave him something even further in, and he still swung at it. I think it's good pitch selection from the Blue Jay standpoint, because they realize he's looking in. He pulled everything that was in previously on the plate foul, including just missing a home run. So he said, you're looking in, try and hit this.
Well, with first base open, you always have the option of pitching around a guy. Here's Gary Sanchez, the Yankees' most dangerous hitter. Tampa Bay eschewed it twice and got burned twice. That ball gets past the second baseman Travis, but backing up was Tulowitzki as they tried to pick off Gardner.
And think about the home run that Sanchez hit in Tampa Bay. They just gone out to the mound, talked to was it Boxberger, the pitcher.
Yep.
And he threw him a hanging slider, and he hit it about 420 feet.
Now Gary has 31 extra base hits, and that's the second most by a Yankee player through 47 career games. Since 1913, the only player who's had more than that, Joe DiMaggio, had 35 extra base hits in 1936. That is nice company to be in.
Man. More than half his hits are extra base hits.
Yep.
You know, it's shortly after teams talk about how well Sanchez has hit, they talk about how much they're impressed with his defense. Although today he's the DH.
Two and one. Swing and a miss. 2-2.
Down and in with looked like an off-speed pitch.
Two. Swing and a miss. Got him. Dialed it up to 94 and strikes out Sanchez for the second time this afternoon.
Yeah, this is Stroman's best fastball. It's got a little movement to it as well. You can see it running back towards the middle of the plate, which can be a dangerous thing, but he elevated it enough that Sanchez couldn't get on top of it. Still a nice balanced swing, just no contact.
Now 2 outs, runner at second, and here is Gregorius. Strike. The 0-1. 1-1. Top of the 4th inning, second game of a 4-game set, and it's 0-0. Yankees and the Blue Jays. It is over, by the way, in Detroit. Kansas City comes back to win 7-4 over the Tigers. Fly ball, center field. Pilar is there, and the Yankees waste another opportunity. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 man left on base. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Premium. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on more than 400 supported devices and enjoy a free subscription to At Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv today. Encarnacion will lead off the 4th inning. CC threw just 8 pitches to retire 3 in a row in the 3rd. CC threw 14 in the 1st, 23 in the 2nd, and 8 in the 3rd.
Well, you like to say that Encarnacion's having a career year, but he's had so many good years. Got a career high 124 runs batted in. Good sharp break on that pitch. He's tied his career high in home runs with 42. So look at that last pitch. Sabathia. Plenty of snap on that breaking ball.
Up the middle and past Didi into left center for a base hit.
You saw the differences in the 2 breaking balls. The last one that he threw was not as good as the previous one, and then Encarnacion gets the base hit. This one kind of rolls a little bit more, stays in the middle of the plate. Although Encarnacion didn't get the best wood on it, he gets enough to get a single into center field. The previous one had quite a bit of snap, and he swung and missed it.
You know, when you look at the 3-4 hitters in this lineup, Kenny, you do wonder what the Blue Jays are going to do. And you look around this ballpark, and you look around the ballpark yesterday, and essentially a sellout. And baseball had been dormant in this city for a very long time, almost 20 years, to be honest. And this town was awakened last year as the Blue Jays made their run. But Bautista and Encarnacion and Saunders will all be free agents at the end of this year. And the word is they are not re-signing them. And because they made all those deals last year to get Price, to get Tulowitzki, they essentially have a barren farm system as well. And the owner likes the fact that now the Blue Jays are important again, but are you going to take a big step back if you let these big stars leave as free agents? So that's a big question that they have. And you know, they've rearranged some things in the farm system. Ben Cherington used to be the GM of the Red Sox, got hired as the vice president of baseball operations in charge of rebuilding the minor league system. So are they willing to take that step back and again have the small crowds? So on this team, the window is closing this year. Remember at the beginning of the year, Bautista, before he had an injury-plagued year, was said that he wasn't taking anything less than $30 million a year for 5 years. I just don't know if that's out there, Kenny.
I don't see that happening, not only here, but anywhere.
Soft ground ball left side. They'll get the force. Throw to first, not in time.
Yankees get the lead runner. Ball was not hit hard enough to turn to double play. You can see, although they attempted, Bautista well across the bag at first base. So far today, CZ's been able to get some ground balls following some base runners. Encarnacion back to the bench.
Kenny, has got to be very tough for a pitcher on the Yankees now. To pitch. Every single pitch could decide the game because your team has had such trouble scoring runs. Puts a lot of pressure on a pitcher. Pitch to Russell Martin is a strike. He walked in the 2nd inning. There's a base hit. Now, one thing I've noticed all year when the Yankees play the Blue Jays, Kenny, and I wonder if you would agree with me, They take advantage of shifts, especially their right-handed batters. They wear a path out to right field. Every time the Yankee second baseman is shaded up the middle, it seems like this happens.
Well, they did it last night. Russell Martin takes advantage here. And especially against a pitcher like CeCe, who now keeps the ball away. He's trying to sink it, get you to turn over and pull it on the ground. Well, Russell Martin hits the ball the other way, takes advantage of the hole. You said second base and shifted over towards the bag. You know, I think the shift works more for certain pitchers than it does for others.
And also, their power hitters will pick a time in a game and they will decide, okay, I'm not going to try to jack a home run. I'm just going to punch a single or right. And we've seen Encarnacion do it. We've seen Bautista do it many, many times. And there's a strike to Tulowitzki.
There are times where a base hit will do the job.
Yep.
Especially when, you know, you're trying to get something going.
Tulowitzki did it twice yesterday.
Yeah.
Fly ball this time right field. Hicks makes the play. 2 outs. Here's Melvin Upton Jr.
You talk about the Blue Jays and the way they go about the hitting, in particular in this series. We talked about it a little bit last night. How they're just not sluggers. You know, they kind of fall in between the extreme power hitting of the Orioles and the solid good hitting with power of the Boston Red Sox. Blue Jays kind of fall in between those two teams.
Fly ball, center field. And CeCe works out of trouble. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. Go to the 5th. It's 0-0. And the people in the red suits actually hang over the edge of that. Obviously, they're tethered to the line above.
Let's hope so.
And they just hang over. And Brian Cashman did that last year. Right. Come back to us. Wow.
That is literally out there.
Here's Aaron Hicks. And there's a strike to start out the 5th inning. Yankees have just 1 hit. Hicks is single in the 2nd. The Blue Jays have 4. Yankees have gone 22 straight innings without a run. Kenny and I were walking past the CN Tower after the game yesterday, along with our producer Bill Bowen. And I said to Kenny, I said, have you ever been up in the CN Tower? And he quickly said, no, and I don't want to. And then we just kept walking.
You asked me the same thing in St. Louis about the Gateway Arch.
And you said, no, and I don't want to.
I'm not. It's beautiful. Rather look at them from on the ground. Terra firma.
I get you.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss. Hicks down on strikes.
Almost the same pitch that he got Ellsbury on. Breaking ball down and in. You see the target of Navarro. That looked like almost it was a changeup, not really a breaking ball.
Brian McCann. Strike. The 2-1 from Stroman.
Seems that every time that Stroman wants a come up with a strikeout pitch, particularly to the lefties, it's been in, but in that last pitch he went away to McCann. He and Navarro got a pretty good thing working here. See Navarro, he wants this pitch down, and although it missed, he said good pitch. Count has gone full 3-2.
Only the 2nd full count for Marcus Stroman.
They want it in again.
Grounded foul, just foul.
You're sitting there on the bench as a Yankee left-handed hitter in the game today. You see what Stroman's trying to do. Coming back in there again.
And a walk. Worked out by McCann. 2nd walk for Stroman.
One of the keys to being a good hitter is not only putting in your memory banks what happens when you're at the plate. You watch what's going on with everybody else. And sometimes the pitcher's approach can change from inning to inning. Sometimes they go out there and they can't get a breaking ball over in a certain inning, and you can almost eliminate that pitch. I said almost because you go up there and then all of a sudden he gets 2 over to you.
Let's see if they turn 2. There's 1. And they double up the speedy Torreyes for the final out of the 5th. A 6-4-3 double play. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. Joe is checking to see if they made the out at first. And it looks as if they did. So, at the end of 4.5 innings of play here in Toronto, we are halfway through. Each team still looking for a run. It's 0-0.
People say to me, well, now that you're retiring, what are you going to do? Well, you know, if you're 65 and you retire, you might have 20 years left of life or more, and you better have some plans. When you're 89 and they ask you what your plans are, I'm going to try to live.
That was our Around the Majors, brought to you by M&T Bank. Understanding what's important. Vince Scully's final weekend as the home Dodger announcer. That's pretty important. As Navarro grounds out to Austin, he gave a beautiful speech. Kevin Costner read a beautiful speech behind a musical background. And the Dodgers honored Vince Scully, who is retiring after next Sunday's game against the Giants in San Francisco. And he is, very simply put, the greatest in this profession. There's no one who has ever done it like him. I don't think there's anyone that will ever do it again. 67 years as the voice of one team. Started in Brooklyn, and his career will end in LA. And it's a glorious, glorious career. And we wish him only happiness in his retirement.
There's nobody can paint a picture like him.
He's the only voice that Dodger fans have known since the Dodgers moved from Brooklyn. He moved with them.
You know, the thing about it, you know you're pretty good when people are watching the ball game. They're at the ballpark, and back in the day they had transistors, and nowadays, you know, with all the ways you can listen to radio broadcasts, they still listen to him while they're watching the game.
Grounded to third, off the glove of Torreyes. He regains and fires, and a backhanded scoop by Austin to get Pilar.
Good hands on both ends of this. First of all, the ball's off the glove of Torreyes, just off the thumb. Stays with it. Now he knows he has to hustle a little bit more, and the throw isn't quite on the money, but Austin on the other end comes up with a nice scoop. We've seen Austin at Yankee Stadium out early, working on plays just like this with Joe Espada. Nice play on the other end. You know, they always talked about in LA, fans show up late, leave early. Well, they're getting the picture painted as they're driving to the ballpark or on their way home.
Right. Pretty nice design there as the sun reflects off the CN Tower. Psychedelic look. Oh, 2 to Travis. 1-2. Grounded to third. Hey, CC's doing his job, but as been the case for a lot of this season, the Yankees are not doing their job for him. 0-0. They're brought to you by your Tri-State BMW Centers. We told you about Kansas City scoring 5 in the 9th to beat Detroit 7-4. St. Louis back on the winning side with a 10-4 victory over the Cubs, putting some pressure on the Mets and the Giants. And Texas leads Oakland 2-0 bottom of the 5th. Boston and Tampa Bay, that's a 6-10 start.
Texas clinched the American League West last night.
Second year in a row.
Yeah.
Rogers center, 6th inning, 0-0.
Michael, we were talking about this a little bit last night. In the American League, there's only 3 teams that have a winning record against the Yankees. Boston, mentioned Texas, and Toronto. The Yankees either split the season series or won the season series against every other team in the American League. As Austin questions the call of the strike. They've had problems within the division because 2 of those teams are in the division, Boston and Toronto.
And you also mentioned last night, Kenny, and it's really been underreported that the thing that's going to end up costing the Yankees as Austin goes down on strikes is a losing record against the National League, which they never, ever do. They usually beat up on the National League. I believe they have the best record of any team since interleague play began, but this year they could not get it done, and that's going to end up costing them.
8-12. They split with the Mets 2-2. Every other team, with the exception of the Giants in the National League West, the Yankees had a losing record. They took 2 out of 3 from the Giants, and they lost the series to all the others. And you're right. That's ultimately is going to cost them. Well, next year they don't play. the National League West.
They play the Central.
Yeah, which is no bargain because you get Pittsburgh, get the Cubs, get the Cardinals, all good teams. Well, Solano's up there. He's had some major league experience with Miami, but he had a real good year down at Scranton Wilkes-Barre this year. Champion Rail Riders.
And he works a walk. Tomorrow, the Yankees are back on Yes as they take on Toronto in another big division clash right here at Rogers Center. Coverage will start at noon with Audi batting practice today, followed by the Chevy pregame. And then Kenny and I will have the call on Yes, streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Nice way to spend a Saturday afternoon.
Long set, the 0-1 to Gerardi steps out.
You know, this game is kind of settling into a one swing of the bat game. And both pitchers have done a pretty good job getting some big outs when they needed them. Yankees have hit the 2 double plays. So have the Blue Jays.
Grounded foul. Got to wear your sunglasses on the first base side.
Yeah.
One little patch. What a difference a section makes.
Speaking of sunglasses, you see the sunglasses that Meredith was wearing?
I did.
Yeah, they had some Hollywood cool to them.
I thought it was interesting because you could see Meredith, and then you could see the camera that was shooting Meredith, and then the camera sees Meredith, and it was almost like a wormhole. It was beautiful.
Well, Kenny, I have to give credit where credit is due, and Michael actually tipped me off to those sunglasses at a place here in Canada.
Knocked down by Stroman. He fires the second one. That's all they'll get.
Oh, so Michael knows where you go.
He holds the key to the Sunglass Palace, Kenny.
There they are. Huh? Should I tell people right now, Meredith? Should I reveal this?
Michael, give the people what they want.
Meredith is starring in the remakes of Chips. So, and also the Top Gun remake, and she'll still be working with us, which is neat. So, good job by you, Meredith.
Hey, you have to have something to do in the offseason, right?
Absolutely. I think she is actually playing the Eric Estrada role, so that's good.
And how would it make you feel if I told you I've never seen Chips?
I would believe you.
Oh.
You know, Kenny, if it hasn't happened before 1985, Meredith
she's
has
got no
no
clue.
idea.
No clue.
I was simply going to ask that you expand for our less seasoned demographic.
All right. It was a very highly acclaimed show about motorcycle policemen in California.
California Highway Patrol.
Yeah.
And you know what? Everybody has Google. Use it. Here's the 0-2. Runner goes. Pitches high. Throw to second. Got him. Navarro throws out Gardner to end the sixth. No runs, no hits, no errors because of the caught stealing. Nobody left on base. They're checking with replay to see if they should challenge. So let's take a look. Nope. Looked like he got him before the hand hit. We go to the bottom of the sixth. The reboot of Chips. So we've got our sunglasses on as we're ready to go to the bottom of the sixth inning. Donaldson fouls it off.
You ever ridden on a motorcycle?
Yes.
I have too. I didn't particularly like it.
So you'll have a stunt man, Kenny.
You know what? Yeah, they just show you getting on it.
Yes.
Getting on.
That's all. Body double. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Donaldson strikes out.
I think Donaldson went up there with, I'm going to be the one with the one swing of the bat today. Change up, then cutter in, and now fastball out of the zone. He went to get it and struck himself out. 3 pitches, and he's gone. Second strikeout for Sabathia.
If you look at the record that Sabathia had coming in, a young man brought his glove and got himself a souvenir. He's 8-12, and now with the 5 1/3 shutout innings, he's down to a 4.06 ERA. And you know, people will argue with you about this, but he has pitched well, and he hasn't gotten the greatest run support. And we've always used this stat in terms of hard hit balls. He has a lot of really soft hit balls against him, and a lot of them seem to drop. And if you watch him pitch on a game-to-game basis, he doesn't really get hammered. swing and a miss, and he keeps the team in the game. And you know, when you look at next year, Kenny, he's locked in to a starting role, and whether he's the 4th or 5th starter, I don't think you could ask for that much more from a 4th or 5th starter. He's going to start every 5 days, take the ball, and give you a chance to win.
I mentioned he's lost 3 times without a win to the Blue Jays this year. Here's an example of what Michael's talking about. He lost to the Jays May 26th at Yankee Stadium. 7 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs. Toronto won 3-1. No run support. Lost to the Jays May 31st here at Rogers Center. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs. Yankees lost 4-1. Didn't get much in the way of run support in that game. Only gave up 2 runs.
Yep. Didn't you say in his last 5 starts, 3 times they didn't score?
Yankees been shut out 3 of his last 5 starts.
Well, there you go. Kind of hard to win. As Encarnacion walks. And you can see he's very careful with the guys that are making a living hitting the ball out. He's not giving them anything over the plate because he realizes he can't afford to with the way the offense is not clicking. And another thing that's not said about CC too much, unbelievable leader in the clubhouse and really a valuable presence in dealing with the young rotation, all of the young players in general. And there's a strike to Bautista.
Bautista had a double in the 2nd inning. And it increased his reaching safely streak at 31 consecutive games. Here's a guy who missed 42 games. Stands right up on top of the plate. He's looking to pull the baseball.
Popped up, shallow center. Solano is out and makes the play for the 2nd out.
CC able to get the cutter in on the hands. Just when Bautista thought he had it squared up, ball darts in, and he kind of popped it straight up. Sort of pitch to have you talking to yourself as you head back to the bench.
There's Russell Martin. Adam Warren is up in the pen for the Yanks. And I got a piece of McCann who will walk it off. The 0-2. Grounded up the middle. And Didi flips to Solano, and that will do it. A strong 6 innings for Sabathia. 6 shutout innings. But the same deal for Stroman. We go to the 7th. It's 0-0. brought to you by Ram Trucks, Guts, Glory, Ram. This won't take long. 0-0. Yankees have 1 hit, and that was by Aaron Hicks. Blue Jays have 4, 6 shutout innings for Sabathia, 6 shutout innings for Stroman. Yankees hitless in 3 at-bats with runners in scoring position. The Blue Jays 0 for 4 in those situations. Yankees only had 3 hits last night and 1 hit today, so that's 4 hits in 15 innings. And 6 shutout innings tacked on to 18, so 24 straight scoreless innings for the Yankee offense. Ellsbury will lead it off. Yankees have walked 3 times against Stroman, and then that 1-out single in the second by Aaron Hicks. Line drive right at Tulowitzki, 1 away.
Well, the Yankees only had 1 runner in scoring position. That was in the 4th inning. Gardner walked, got to second on a pass ball.
Sanchez takes outside.
One of the keys when you're looking to hit a ball hard, get ahead on the counts, as Sanchez is now, and see if Stroman gives into it. I mentioned it, this could be a 1 swing of the bat game. That's a pretty good swing, but he fouled it back.
Three-1 to Sanchez. Chopped to short. Tulowitzki. 2 outs.
This is the left-hander Brett Cecil. We saw him last night for an inning.
Stroman deals to Didi. 1-0, so we have a pitcher's duel on a Saturday afternoon here in Toronto. And the hockey game, which will be at the Air Canada Centre 2 blocks away tonight, will probably have more scoring than this. And it's Russia versus Canada.
Well, I'm sure they'll be harder hitting. Let's put it that way. At least to this point.
Yeah, you never know what could happen in the final 3.
You got that right.
Chopped slowly, first base. Encarnacion flips to Stroman, finds the bag, and beats Didi there for the final out of the 7th as the Yankees go down in order 1-2-3. At the end of 6.5 time for the stretch, 0-0. start your weekday. Join Suki, Scott, and the Pix 11 News team with breaking news, traffic, and sports. Linda Church's weather reports keep you in the know mornings from 6 to 9 on the Pix 11 Morning News, bringing you the heart of the story. Sabathia comes out for the bottom of the 7th, and he'll deal to Tulowitzki. Strike in the outside corner. Popped up behind the plate. McCann gives it a look. And it's over the screen into the seats.
Yeah, there's not all that much room behind home plate here at the Rogers Center. So anything the catcher comes up with behind home plate on a foul pop is usually just straight up the silo.
And the 1-2. Chopped slowly, left side. Charging Torres, fires, and he gets Tulowitzki for the first out.
Excellent play by Torres, who was charging so hard. Got a nice hop, though. That hopped up around, I guess, about thigh high. If it's a little lower, it's a tougher play. On this turf, the ball takes a nice hop, and he's able to throw on the run. He actually ended up in foul territory on the first base side. The momentum carried him all the way in the foul territory. Plays a solid second, short, or third. That's why he's on the team.
Here's Melvin Upton, 0 for 1 with a walk. Another chopper. This time CC Field sets, fires, and just gets Upton. CC really was deliberate with that. Make sure he made a on-target throw. And Upton came close to beating it out.
Yeah, it was the throw in Boston that kind of cost them a ball game.
Navarro takes a strike. Fly ball, center field. Ellsbury is there, and Sabathia works a 1-2-3 7th inning. We go to the 8th. Stroman and Sabathia matching zeros. Raymore and Flanagan furnishing your style. Blue Jays have the top spot in the wild card. The Tigers lost today to the Royals, so they're tied with the Orioles for the second spot. 1 game behind on the loss column, Seattle. 2 games back in the loss column, the Astros. The Yankees, 3 games back at 3.5 in the games behind column. So the Yankees have to win this game with the Tigers having lost their game. This call to the bullpen brought to you by Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. Stroman is done, and they call on Jason Grilli.
Veteran right-hander, reliever. Been with Toronto since May 31st. Very effective against right-handed hitters. He has struck out about 1/3 of the right-handed hitters he's faced since then. And he's one of those pitchers that his max effort. You can hear him on the mound. He grunts with every pitch.
Aaron Hicks has the Yankees' only hit. Those are the numbers on Grilli. Came over from Atlanta. 78 strikeouts and 56 in the 3rd innings. Too many walks at 31. And there's ball 1.
You can't say that Stroman didn't do his job, and once again, he didn't get much in the way of run support.
Tyler Clippard is up in the Yankee bullpen. Two and one. Well, the Yankees walked 3 times against Stroman, and then the Hicks single in the 2nd. Those are the base runners. Yankees have left just 1 runner on base. Toronto 5. Two and two. Grounded. Donaldson makes a throw after the 360. 1 away.
Hicks had sent one through the hole by Donaldson for the Yankees' only hit. Looks like he tried it again. This time Donaldson shaded a little bit more off the line, closed the hole, and gets the first out here in the 8th inning.
Here's Brian McCann, hit into a double play and walked. Popped up left side. Long run for Donaldson. And it's in the seats. "25 straight innings for the Yankees without scoring a run." We told you at the start of the game, they have not been shut out 3 straight games since 1975. That's 41 years ago. And that wasn't a bad Yankee team. They were just starting to turn the corner. The next year they would get into the World Series.
Led by Thurman Munson.
Foul back.
believe that next year Greg Nettles led the league in home runs.
75 was the last year they played at Shea Stadium. They played there 2 years as a refurbished Yankee Stadium, and it reopened in 1976 and was christened with an American League championship. But they got swept by the Reds in the World Series, came back, won the next two against the Dodgers in 77 and 78. 1-2.
McCann's had some good swings. John Gibbons had a lot of praise for Grilling after he came over from Atlanta. Did a very good job out of the bullpen. Blue Jays were looking for a veteran presence.
Torreyes is on deck as McCann battles Grilly.
McCann see just about everything from Grilly. He's run the count full.
Strike three.
McCann looking for a fastball and got a breaking ball. You saw the sign from Navarro, then he drops a hook in there for call, strike three, and McCann do it. A little bit of a stare. Where's that fastball when I want it? Pitchers have a way of being tricky from time to time.
Foul back over the screen. 0-1 on Torreyes. Torreyes fouled out to the catcher in the third, wrapped into a 6-4-3 double play in the fifth. One and one on Torreyes.
Yankees have hit 3 fly balls to the outfield. Each outfielder has had a put out. And all 3 of those were kind of lazy fly balls.
One and two.
Now yesterday or last night, the Yankees did not take batting practice. They got in very early from Tampa Bay, and they got 3 hits. Today they took batting practice and they only have
1. 1-2. Driven into right center field. That is a base hit. It's going to split the outfielders and get to the wall. Let's see if Torreyes can get 3. He's rounding second. He's going to third. He has a stand-up triple with 2 outs. Yankees' second hit, a triple by Torreyes with 2 outs in the 8th.
Anytime Torreyes can split the gap, the outfielders usually play him a little more shallow than other hitters. That means they're going to have to chase the ball a little further to the wall, and with Torreyes' speed, that usually means a 3-base hit. He is galloping on his way to third. That is his 4th triple of the year.
Well, the Yankees are going to send Billy Butler up to pinch hit for Tyler Austin. And this is the tightrope that Joe is walking. And it's not an easy one because you want to see what these kids have, but you also have to win this game. And he's going to say, I have a better chance with Billy Butler up there than a struggling rookie in Tyler Austin. So he sends Butler up, the pinch hit against Grilli. Butler 2 for 6 in his career against Grilli, and Grilli deals him outside 1-0. Second baseman Travis shades Butler up the middle, and Encarnacion way off the line at first. And Butler swings at a pitch, diving down and out of the strike zone, 1-1.
He starts him with 2 sliders. First one wasn't close. And there's a swing and a miss. 1-1.
This with the fastball outside.
When you're on third base in this situation, as we take a look at this pitch just off the corner, you have to be alive for the wild pitch. Yep, that's outside. Torres can get a good lead because Donaldson's back deep. That one hung.
This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Full house. Most standing. Getting loud here at Rogers Center. 2-2. Spoiled that one. Toronto is 43-32 in this ballpark. 41-37 on the road. Torres is at third. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Torres only the second runner today to get to third. Bautista got to third in the second. 2-2. Fouled the fastball back.
Tried to pass Butler up and in after all those sliders away. Just got a piece of it.
And the pitch. Swing and a miss, he got him. And Grilli is pumped. No runs a hit. No errors and 1 man left on base. Butler chased upstairs. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Box score. It's brought to you by Land Rover, Above and Beyond. Let's see, 3 singles, a double by Bautista, 3 walks, Encarnacion, Martin, and Upton. And that's the offense, which has not produced a run against Sabathia. But Sabathia's day is over, as Joe Girardi will make the call to the bullpen. Brought to you by Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. And Tyler Clippard will come on in relief of the veteran left-hander who pitched a superb game against a potentially explosive offense in the Blue Jays. That's what Clippard has done with the Yankees in 24 games. Kevin Pillar leads off. Swing and a miss. Bottom of the 8th inning, 0-0. 4 hits for Toronto, 2 hits for the Yankees. Blue Jays have left 5. The Yankees now have left 2. Second game of this 4-game set. Warming up for the Blue Jays is their closer, Roberto Osuna. Tie game after 8 innings at home, and you will not be getting a save situation.
Clippard features a low to mid-90s fastball and an excellent changeup. There's the young closer.
Obviously, this game is of paramount importance to the Yankees, but it's pretty big for the Blue Jays as well. A lot of teams bunched around that wild card. It doesn't seem like anybody's going to catch the Red Sox in the East. So you want to hold on to one of those 2 wild card entries into the postseason. And the 0-2. It's 9-1-2 in Toronto's order. Pillar, Travis, and then Donaldson. Anybody gets on, Encarnacion. And after that, Bautista. Clippard deals the 0-2. Chopped slowly to third, charging Torreyes. And he gets Pillar for the first out.
By the way, taking over at first base is Mark Teixeira. Butler batted for Austin, and now Teixeira comes in defensively.
Top of the order, Devin Travis.
Mentioned this the other day that Clippard, unlike most relievers, works from the windup with nobody on base. Most relievers work from out of the stretch exclusively.
Rounded to third. Torreyes getting a workout. 2 outs.
Might have to pack that glove in ice after the game's over. Cool it off. He's made some nice plays. And of course, at this stage of the game, he does not want much going to his right. So kind of guarding the line. Been very sure-handed, been a strong arm.
6 assists today for Torreyes. Here's Josh Donaldson. He has one of the 4 hits for the Blue Jays. And there's a strike. Donaldson single to left in the first, fly ball to left in the third, and a strikeout in the 6th. Line drive left field, and electing to play down the hop is Gardner rather than try to make the shoestring catch. So a 2-out single for Donaldson. We've been seeing some great shots from above. The aerial coverage provided by Goodyear leading the way with tires that deliver superior performance in clutch situations. Goodyear, more driven.
So the idea with Gardner on that play, as we've been sailing along here with no score, you don't want the ball to get by you in the outfield and risk having Donaldson getting the scoring position. If there's any doubt, you cannot make the play. So he stays back, plays it on the hop, gets it in. Donaldson's at first base. He's not in scoring position.
Here's Encarnacion, and with 42 home runs, anybody's in scoring position.
I was thinking the same thing.
Teixeira holds Donaldson at first. 3 infielders on the left side for Encarnacion. The entire right side of the infield is open, and we've seen the Blue Jay hitters take advantage of that. Pitch is high. And that one gets past McCann. So now Donaldson is in scoring position. And now that right side of the infield looms pretty large in many ways, because a single would give you a 1-0 lead, although Hicks has a good arm and right. Wild pitch.
Yeah, wild pitch in the dirt off the glove. Enough for Donaldson to get down to second. Now the Yankees changed their defensive alignment a little bit. Solano moves to the right side of second base, albeit just a few steps, but he's not on the other side of second base.
And Teixeira way off the line. He was holding the runner on. 2-1.
There's that good changeup from Clippard. Mentioned fastball in the mid-90s. This changeup comes up there at 80 miles an hour and has Encarnacion well out in front.
Bounced up there, and a good scoop by McCann. 3-1, and Bautista's on deck.
This time he comes up with it, and looks like he's ready to come up throwing. Donaldson headed back to second.
And he was very careful with Encarnacion, and he walks him. So first and second, 2 outs. And another dangerous hitter, Jose Bautista. Bautista is 1 for 3 today. A double, a fielder's choice, and a pop up to second. He's using Kevin Pillar's bat. Bautista has faced Clippard just 4 times and has a hit.
Bautista's hit today was a leadoff double, which was followed by a walk, but then Sabathia got a double play, a walk, and a pop-up. And that was the biggest threat by the Jays against CC.
One and 0. Clippard deals. Just missed outside. 2-0.
just outside, and thought he might have clipped the corner, but didn't.
Two-0. Drilled to left field deep. Turning and looking is Gardner. See ya. A 3-run home run for Bautista. And the Blue Jays lead 3-0.
Well, the 2-3-4 hitters in the Blue Jay lineup might be the most dangerous 2-3-4 going anywhere. Maybe with the exception of the Red Sox, but these guys, seems like one of them every game is going to get you.
20th home run of the year for Bautista. Russell Martin swings and misses.
Count is 2-0, and it's right down the middle, and he doesn't miss it. Well, these guys can sit on a pitch, and they get it. The only reason Bautista's home runs are only at 20, he's missed 42 games this year. That's my bat. That's me. I helped him.
And Clippard, who has been so effective for the Yankees since coming over in a deal, gets 2 quick outs here in the 8th, and then a single to Donaldson, a walk to Encarnacion, and then a 3-run home run by Bautista. And just like that, 3-0. Three and 1. And he walks Russell Martin. And Larry Rothschild with his first trip to the mound. He was there a lot last night, but CC did need to be spoken to today. He was fantastic over 7, and then they bring in Clippard here in the 8th inning, and Clippard has unraveled after getting 2 ground balls to Torreyes. And pitchers know if a ball's gone. Check out Clippard. Didn't even look. Wants to tear his glove apart.
He was careful to Encarnacion, and you could see that with a base open. But once he fell behind Bautista, you had a feeling Bautista's going to put a good swing on something. And he put his A swing on it, got a good pitch to handle. And as we said, a 1 swing of the bat ball game.
Tulowitzki takes low. Martin leads off first. Clippard deals. Deals a strike, 1-1. Well, for the Yankees, in the 9th, it'll be the number 9 hitter, Donovan Solano. You see Kirby Yates up, then Brett Gardner and Jacoby Ellsbury. And if anybody gets on, Gary Sanchez. Before the home run by Bautista, the Blue Jays were 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position in this game. 1-2. Grounded to short. Gregorius goes the short way, and that will do it. A lot of good hitters in the Blue Jays lineup. If one doesn't get you, another one does. A 3-run home run by Bautista. Now the Yankees have a 3-run deficit going to the ninth. Score brought to you by Land Rover. Above and beyond, just 2 hits in there. The triple by Torres, a single by Hicks, and 3 walks. They have not scored a run over the first 8 innings of this game, as we can see from the line score, which is going to be brought to you by Fios. Visit getfios.com. 3-6-0 for Toronto and 0-2-0 for the Yankees. Ezekiel Carrera takes over in right for Bautista. Now Roberto Osuna will come in and try to close this out. Those are the numbers: 34 of 37 in saves. And Solano takes a strike. 26 straight innings without a run for the Yankees. And now they're down 3-0 here in the ninth.
Osuna, just 21 years old. Last year picked up 20 saves in his rookie year with the Blue Jays.
One and 2 on Solano. Solano is 0 for 1 with a walk.
So in his young career, he's already gotten 54 saves, including the 34 this year. .54 out of 60. It's been 90%. Usually it's the veteran relievers who are unflappable. But Osuna has shown early on here, as I mentioned, just 21, that he can get the job done.
Grounded to short. And they get Solano one away.
Throwing on the run. And there's one down.
Here's Brett Gardner. Gardner is 0 for 2 with a walk. Also was caught stealing. One of just 2 Yankees today to get into scoring position. He walked in the 4th and moved to second on a pass ball with nobody out. But Ellsbury struck out, Sanchez struck out, Gregorius with a fly ball to center. The other Yankee that was in scoring position was Ronald Torres with the triple with 2 outs in the 8th. But then the pinch hitter Billy Butler struck out to end the inning.
Figure there's got to be a day where the Yankees break out with the bats, but it wasn't today. Stroman was strong. Really was in trouble, got out of it. And now got to deal with Osuna.
And Gardner punches a base hit to left field. Cutting over is Upton. Big turn by Gardner, but he'll stay put at first base. A 1-out single for the Yankee left fielder. Here's Jacoby Ellsbury.
Need another base runner to make it interesting.
Fly ball center field. Pilar is there. 2 down here in the 9th as Gardner heads back to first. Gary Sanchez fouls one off. Gary is 0 for 3 today with 2 strikeouts and 1 ground ball to short. Gary sitting at 19 home runs with 38 runs batted in. Encarnacion playing behind Brett Gardner, so Gardner could take off for second whenever he pleases. Missed outside, 1-1. Swing and a miss. Yankees down to their final strike. And the 1-2. Foul back. 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Yankees lost 2-0 in St. Pete, 9-0 last night, losing 3-0 today. And trying to stage a rally here in the 9th inning. There's the offense in the game, that man, a 3-run home run. 2-2, runner goes. High fly ball, left field. Upton is there, and that will do it. Yankees lose this one 3-0, and they are shut out for the first time in 3 straight games since 1975. 41 years ago. As the Yankee offense has completely stalled, and they lose this one 3-0. So the Yankee wild card aspirations take another body blow because of the 3-run home run by Bautista. We've got more to come. Come on back here to Rogers Center. Give out some awards. We'll wrap things up. Blue Jays beat the Yankees 3-0.